Hello and welcome to our review of Glass, the new movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
The three of you've convinced yourselves you have extraordinary gifts, like something out of a comic book.
It is the third, I guess, and I guess you'd call it a trilogy.
In a very extended trilogy.
Of grounded superhero movies from M. Night Shyamalan. The first of which is Unbreakable.
From like 2000, right? I can't remember the
Is that when it was from? I should have looked it up before we started.
Well, they said 19 years, so I would assume...
I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah. And Glass from 2016 would be the second in this trilogy. Mm-hmm. Very loosely connected to Unbreakable with just a cameo by Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable at the very end.
I enjoyed both of those movies. Mm-hmm. I know Unbreakable definitely has some pacing issues. Like it's a really slow movie. Yeah. It's a very slow burn.
Unbreakable, I saw like when I was little too, mm-hmm. actually, like quite a long time ago, and then we've watched it since.
Mm-hmm. And then Split is quite a bit more action packed, and what I really liked is that it was a very different genre.
Yeah, it was more of a horror movie than
like a thriller. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about those.
No, we're not.
We're here to talk about Glass, which is the sort of the culmination of the previous two films.
Yes.
So you have James McAvoy's The Horde.
Yes.
Who has dissociative identity disorder.
I'm Mary Reynolds. Por favor, señora. We almost got you, bro.
Against, I guess, joining together with Mr. Glass.
Very briefly.
I almost said Nick Fury.
Samuel L. Jackson.
What do we call you, sir? First name, Mr. Last name, Glass.
And then Bruce Willis is
the Overseer,
I guess, or the Green Guard.
Well, it sounds like they said on the Overseer.
Yeah.
It's like in like the Arrow and Flash, they give him like the Blur and all those.
Yeah.
They try to give him other nicknames, not their superhero name, to make it sound more.
Well, because they're supposed to be very grounded.
And yet, some of us still don't die with bullets. Some of us can still bend steel.
Like, we just got out of it. Like, we drove from the
theater.
It's
about like 15 minutes ago,
let's say.
Yeah.
We got out of it. Drove to the theater, set up the camera and sound system, and are recording. And we haven't discussed it since, like, at all, like, in that in-between time. I guess my first, like, feeling is,
Yeah, that's a pretty...
that's about my, like, I don't know, maybe if I need to process it or see it again, because, like, there wasn't anything that was, like, this is terrible, but I also have, like...
That's the thing, is it, like... It was like Unbreakable in the regard of being really, really slow,
mm-hmm.
but I don't finish watching Unbreakable and feel like I was robbed of something.
Yeah.
Where with this, it was like everything
like...
was a setup for a sequel, as opposed to actually, like, anything being accomplished in the movie. Very, very little happens. Which I recognize kind of happens in Unbreakable too. But this is supposed to be like that third part of the trilogy, and
again,
it feels like
a good, like you kind of said, a good way to say it is just all set up and no payoff. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, from like the trailers, you can kind of see like that there's going to be like a final showdown, but even that really.
Well, and I mean, even the thing that I guess we're not in spoilers yet, but they kind of set up a big showdown.
Yeah.
Like halfway through the movie, and then that never happens, and it's very like. I guess a good way to describe it.
Every time they start to pick up steam, they hit the brakes.
And and it's like, again, it wasn't bad per se. It was just very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised by, because I kind of thought that was like the point of this movie was like, hey, it's been a really long time since we've really seen, especially Unbreakable.
Yeah.
It was 2000. I looked it up.
Nice, I win.
So yeah, 18 years ago. No, sorry, 19.
You get the year right. Jeez.
Sorry. Yeah, it's just like I think you put it really well when you said every time it picks up steam, they just kind of hit the brakes, and they're like, no, hold. So we got to draw this out for another hour.
Yeah.
It also felt really like there wasn't a clear like first, second, and third act. It just kind of was all like, I kept thinking we were in the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
Before we hit, because usually, the third act is the climax, and the second act would be you know, that sort of like the plot is set in motion and everything starts happening, and I felt like we were always just stuck right there.
Yeah.
And then the movie just ended, and I was like, it didn't feel long.
No, it didn't feel long, but it didn't.
Because I kept thinking we were like, oh, we still have like a half hour left or an hour left.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the credits just rolled, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
Again, the acts really do like blur the lines really bad.
Yeah, it just sort of meanders.
Yeah, and I'm like, because it's the thing is you're like, oh, we're in the end of the movie now. Like not the end, but we're in the third act. Like it's like, and it probably has been there for like 15 minutes, like the third act.
Yeah.
But you just realize it way into it. I'm trying to think what else we can say. I mean, there's a couple of spots where it's just like that seems like, or it's just like that doesn't seem right even for this universe.
Yeah. We can talk about more of that. There was some weird decisions. Sometimes it felt like we were. I mean, they did replay the same thing twice a couple times, like similar things twice, and it was like, again, are you just doing this to pad it out to 2 hours? Yeah. Because they spend, I don't know, we'll talk more about that. They spend a lot of time in a single location. Mm-hmm. Like this movie, I don't know what the budget for it is, but it seems like you could do it on a really small budget.
Oh, what was it, like 20 million or so?
Is that what it was?
M. Night Shyamalan put up 20 million of his own money to do it. I don't know if that was the entire budget.
I'm gonna look that up.
Right. One thing that I was gonna say is like it tries really hard to play mind games with its audience.
What a twist!
In my opinion,
yeah,
that's like because like again in the trailers, there's that the psychiatrist who's like, I specialize in people who think they're superheroes,
mm-hmm.
and so it's goes back and forth and like tries like, so is it gonna? It just is back and forth on like, oh no, yes, no, and then obviously we'll actually reveal what it is in the spoiler section. You're looking at the budget. Yeah, because there wasn't that many characters. Oh no, I'll have to wait for.
According to Box Office Mojo, the production budget was 20 million. These aren't always accurate. It's kind of just because sometimes they don't get budgets until way later. Sometimes they don't get budgets. Says 20 million. That sounds about right. Yeah. And then
that's how much I know that M. Night Shyamalan put up. So I didn't. Okay. I wasn't know if it was him in the studio or just him.
I mean, it's made 113 million.
Well, that's because it has the goodwill of the two previous ones.
But I mean, do lots of people know what Unbreakable and Split are? I was kind of under the impression that not a lot of people really cared.
Split was a bigger one, and then all the people who did watch Unbreakable told their friends, and so now it's kind of what I understood to be like everyone likes
M. Night Shyamalan made a movie that's not weird and confusing.
Yes. There's still only the Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and then Split were good. I haven't seen any other ones.
I thought he had one more good one. Oh, right. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
A true classic.
A true classic.
Maybe I'm confusing it with the animated one.
Yes. Because I'm trying to think what else I've seen. I don't know. Doesn't matter that much. I'm trying to think of anything else we can say.
Would you recommend this movie?
I don't know. I would definitely recommend, like, just go see it, like, on the Tuesday afternoon where the tickets are cheap, or, like, the box office. It's not, you don't have to necessarily, like, see it right away. I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's fair.
But, like, if you like the first two, it's interesting just to, like, see them together, but it's not even, like, things resolve, because, again, it's a lot of this build-up, so you just... it just all build up forever, that it's not like you see, like, the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it would be a great 2-part if the second half, as in like a second movie, had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But they didn't really set up that much in general, because again, it's all build up, no payoff. It's trying to play mind games. I don't think it was bad. I felt really, really conflicted about it the whole time, especially towards the end, which we can talk about more in spoilers. If you haven't seen Unbreakable and Split, definitely watch those. I think they're great movies. I don't know about this one. Like, it's fine. If you've seen the other two, probably watch this one. But.
Yeah. If you don't need to. This one, like, I think you probably could figure out what's going on without seeing the previous two. that you wouldn't care about.
Well, yeah, I don't
Like,
think this movie
yeah,
would work at all if you haven't seen the previous.
I think
two.
it would work as like you could figure out what's going on, but you just wouldn't care.
You would
about-
not care. You would not like it if you had no.
There's nothing just like
background.
to attach to because you attach to the previous characters because there's like one new character that's introduced.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Spoilers.
I guess so.
Spoiler time.
That sounds like the bad guys teaming up. A lot of people are going to die. Don't do this.
All right.
Well, at least superheroes are real, I guess.
Sure. So yeah, we should probably
Yes.
start from the beginning.
Yes.
Um.
So, I was. The moment I realized that Bruce Willis's kid was the same actor, I didn't realize it was going to be him at first.
Well, because I was trying to figure out in my head, because I didn't realize that Unbreakable was from 2000. So
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out in my head, I'm like, has it been long enough where that kid is now grown up?
Yeah.
And it sure has.
It sure has.
So that was kind of interesting.
It was cool because I just was like would have expected them to get into.
They just
acting,
replaced the kid.
but they
or
did
whatever,
not.
yeah.
They did
No.
not replace him.
If you wait long enough.
All right, so Bruce Willis's character stops working at the football
Baseball,
stadium.
football. It's baseball stadium.
I assume football always.
I think it is. No, I think you're right. I think it is football.
But anyways, and so he runs to security and then moonlights as a vigilante. The overseer of the Tiptoe Man and the Green Guy. I don't know. I remember what their names are. Overseer is definitely
Green
the
Guard, I think.
The
is what
Green
it was,
Guard,
because he
yes.
wears the green poncho.
Yes, his lovely superhero uniform, the poncho. So he is. They're trying. He is with it, along with his son, who is his Alfred Oracle, whatever you want to call it, his tech man. Is trying to find as well as doing other things. He's trying to find the Horde, James McAvoy's characters. From
Who
Split.
he does a fantastic job.
Yes.
If you watch the movie for anything, James McAvoy's performance is pretty fun to
Yes.
watch.
I think it was better in. There's that one scene in Split where he like goes through 6 characters in a single shot.
Yeah, well, this one, I mean, it's not as the tone of the movie is very different, so it's not as. I mean, he's still doing a good job, but because the movie isn't as dark and as horror movie-esque, and they also use it a lot more than they did in Split. They tended to It takes a while, again, that slow build to finally revealing that and all that. So they don't have that in this. So it's still a really good performance, but it doesn't work the same way just because it's a different tone.
Yeah. So anyways, as I was saying, he decided to go. Bruce Willis's character decided to go take a walk around where they think the Horde may be, and he bumps into James McAvoy as the Hedwig the Kid personality.
Yeah.
And then has his vision quest. I don't know, his vision.
His vision quest.
I know. He has that vision of with
What do they call it? Do they call it rumors? Is that what they were saying? When he touches people?
I
think they call it rumors.
I don't know. It was a feeling, anyways. His feeling, in vision, and sees that James McAvoy has the 4 cheerleaders captured, chained up, and then ends up finding the hideout where they're chained up, sets them free before they can completely escape the building. The Beast comes, the Beast is the one supernatural personality of James McAvoy from the previous one.
That's super strong because they all have, again, for people unfamiliar, most of them are pretty innocent, but then a select few of them start wanting the Beast to be the only. They call it the light, so whichever one is currently the primary or the active personality. There's a little kid. There's an old lady. There's someone who needs insulin, who's diabetic. There's all kinds of different ones. And the Beast is basically the superhero one, the giant,
the supervillain one,
muscular, scary one. Kind of a cannibal.
Yes, and so they fight for a couple minutes with a weird POV shot on Bruce Willis.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of POV on Bruce Willis's hairy face, and it was weird.
And then so Bruce Willis jumps out a window with him fighting the Beast.
Breaks a glass window.
Oh,
Did you catch that?
Oh yeah.
It was a glass
windows
window.
are something else made other than glass. But then they get up and a light flashes and change the beast's personality changes because it triggers the change, and it's the I don't know police or SWAT, and then the one
It's some people who are law enforcement.
and
It's
then,
not really clear.
and the one doctor lady, who is
I don't even know if we know her name.
I remember. They
I don't
probably
know.
say her
They
name.
probably do. I don't remember.
I
her name.
remember. I don't care.
Doesn't
I
matter.
just noticed that her eyebrows did not match her hair at all, and it really bothered me.
How about Bruce Willis's son? Well, not his actual son, but the kid, Joseph Dunn.
Yes.
His eyes are so blue. Are they contacts?
Wait, you thought they were? I guess I didn't really notice that at all.
Well, you're colorblind.
Yes.
They're violently blue, like dark blue.
Oh, a dark blue. Because I thought
Not
they
a dark blue, but like dark, like the color of that audio thing.
No, I didn't notice that.
They're
they were
very bright, and I don't know if they're contacts, but they're very, very, very bright.
Yes. Well.
Anyway.
Anyways.
That's important to his character.
Yes. So they're taken to the facility, to the Ravenhill Memorial Psychiatric Facility.
Arkham.
Arkham. Yes,
Arkham Asylum.
To their Arkham. And they're locked away across the hall. It turns out from each other, just like
Which is sort of a poor decision.
Yes, but they both have special security measures in place to given their weakness, or their at least supposed weakness, as the psychiatrist doesn't believe, all these people working at the mental hospital don't believe it's real.
That's the twist.
And so they have a light flashing for James McAvoy, and then water for what was it, John or James Dunn?
Isn't it David?
David Dunn.
His name
yes.
is David. His
Yeah.
son's name is Joseph.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jeez,
get with the lore.
he's Bruce Willis.
Do you understand the lore of this universe?
Yes. Anyways, and so there's a lot of back and forth.
They spend a lot of time in the psychiatric facility.
Yes, just
I mean, I understand that's like the main location of the movie.
Yeah.
They spend a lot of time in that facility.
And so then also, Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson's character, has been there for a while and sedated. And for a while, then he gets out and unsedates himself. And so they're all going back and forth. There's a lot of really, the whole middle of the movie, like the whole middle 45 minutes, is the lead psychiatrist lady just like, this is all in your head. You don't believe you just believe your superheroes, and showing evidence to explain away the intuition powers, the super strength, all of that stuff.
They spend a lot of time on that. And
Yes.
it wasn't that it was bad, it's that they spend way too much time on it.
And yes, and
like
then
we get it.
Yes, and they go back and forth. They try to be like, so super. The whole thing is, the whole time is like, is it gonna be in? You know what the twist is gonna be? Is it in their heads or is it not?
Right.
Yeah, for the whole. And so really, it goes on for a while until we realize that Samuel L. Jackson is not sedated, and he.
Literally a while.
Yes, goes on, and then he gets out. Talks to the
James
to
McAvoy.
the other
Kevin. Well, technically it's not Kevin, but Kevin
Wendell Crumb.
There.
Is the main person, or not the main personality.
He's the original
He's the
person.
original, yes.
The original personality.
Anyways, and it's like, show if the beast is real, I'll be able to get us out tomorrow. And so but then footage is found of him out in the halls, and so they performed the surgery that's gonna stop him from being a supervillain. I guess it just
well, it's like a lobotomy.
yeah, it's like
essentially.
They're shutting down. They're because what was an overactive frontal lobe.
I don't know. Some bullshit.
But then but then it's revealed that he tinkered with that, and so the surgery didn't do anything.
Which I'm not really willing to go with them on that one.
Yeah.
That seemed a little. I know he's smart.
Yeah.
But he just opened up a flap that wasn't even locked on the machine, on the lobotomy machine, and just pulls out the lenses for
Yes.
focusing the laser, and that apparently it still functions, but it can't lobotomize you.
Yes.
And I have a little bit of an issue with that.
Yes.
That was a little bit weak.
But then he was pretending to be just calm.
A vegetable.
And then he cuts the throat of Daryl, the very...
You remember his name, but not the doctor.
Yes. The very tall, very crooked-nosed
Did he have a
nurse.
crooked nose?
It was so crooked. I've never seen a more crooked nose in my life.
Look, you didn't see Joseph Dunn's blue eyes. You could get lost in those.
And he kills him with a piece of glass.
Oh.
But yes.
That's symbolic, actually.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught that. It's pretty symbolic.
Yes, because there's... But... And then he gets out, gets the beast out. He turns off the water system for David.
Right, because his whole thing is he wants the beast and David to fight.
To be seen and fight. Yes.
Right. And...
So David gets out by punching his way out of the metal door, so we see that he's super. We see the beast being super, and they escape through the basement, out to then the front yard, which is the front of the hospital, is where the third act. What is the third act?
Yeah, I
takes
guess.
place in.
And it again just sort of meanders there.
Yes.
It's like, we're just staying here. I guess
Yes.
we already have this location. We may as well shoot the climax of the movie just right here.
Yes, because it was the whole thing is they're gonna do it at this new building opening up, but it doesn't ever get to that point.
Which, yeah,
Because the new building's opening up, so there's gonna be cameras. It's a very fancy new building. It has all solar panels, tallest in Philadelphia now.
it's Nagasaki Plaza.
Yes. And so they're...
No, Nakatomi. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I screwed it up.
It's fine. Doesn't matter. So then the whole fight comes out. The Beast and David Dunn fight over the front of the yard.
Well, yeah. Well, the big twist basically.
What a
is that-
twist!
Not the big twist. The first twist, I guess.
What a twist!
First reveal, I guess. Would be
Yeah,
better
your
than
reveal
twist.
is a better, but it's Shyamalan. It's a twist.
What a twist!
The first reveal is that Kevin, the Horde's dad,
Yes.
was killed in the same train accident from Unbreakable. That Bruce Willis was the only one that survived.
Yes. And Mr.
Which-
Glass caused that, which means he created both Bruce Willis and the Horde.
Which
Yes, Bruce Willis's character and the Horde. And so he's what was up with his teeth? I didn't get that either.
Yeah, what happened? I was going to ask about that. So during the third act, Samuel Jackson's just watching the two fight.
Yes.
And all of a sudden there's a bunch of close-ups of his face and he's smiling and he has black stuff all over his teeth.
Yes.
You didn't get it either? Because I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, I just thought I must have... My assumption was I missed it earlier in the film and we just didn't see his teeth. Because he didn't really talk, because he was in the shadows or didn't talk very much.
But when would that have been?
I don't know, that he just didn't take care of himself.
But I'm pretty sure there are scenes earlier when they're talking to him, again, with close-ups,
Yeah.
where he has, perfectly clean teeth.
Yes.
I seem to remember that.
Anyways, so Bruce Willis's son reveals that the Beast died in the same. It was the same train accident, and so then the Beast's job is was created to protect Kevin, and so
From his mother, yeah.
Yes, so he breaks his Mr. Glass, Samuel Jackson's shoulder, and then Bruce Willis steps in, and hey, mess with someone your own size, kind of deal. So he punches Samuel Jackson, who is obviously brittle, and the wheelchair goes rolling back, and the heroes fight some more.
And then the movie ends.
Yeah, no. So, and then the Beast decides, I'm going to run off and actually show the world. But the girl meanwhile, Samuel Jackson is slowly dying.
Or is he? Because we don't ever actually see it, technically.
Yes.
But
and so the Beast then is going to run to the new building, but the girl from Split's don't do it, Kevin, come out, and gets the main personality to come back. Then she steps slightly to the side, and James McAvoy gets shot in an odd spot.
yeah, in the stomach, which
Yes.
would take a long time to bleed out.
Yes. And then, because earlier in the fight, the water tank that held David Dunn's security system, all the water for that broke. There's a pothole with some water in it, and someone with a tattoo is drowning.
Well, we
Bruce
see
Willis
right before
yeah.
that, so the guy who shoots James McAvoy,
Yes.
you see he has a clover tattoo.
3-leaf clover tattoo, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then presumably another SWAT guy comes over and just starts drowning
Bruce Willis.
And he also has a clover tattoo.
Yes.
Do you get it? And then the doctor lady comes up, and she also has a clover tattoo. And it's some sort of weird secret society that hides super people?
Yes. So then that is like that's the real twist, is that there's a secret society that is stopping either convincing super people that they're not really super people, or somehow stopping them from actually being super. Trying to be, and they're like, we try to stop both. We're not evil. And that's like, which her whole mini speech is like, we just have to keep balance or whatever. So then it ends with all three of the super people, Mr. Glass, the Beast, and the Overseer, all dying.
See, I don't think so, because I think it was done very deliberately so that they can either kill them or not.
That they'll all survive, yeah.
Or they can kill some of them or not, because none of them are confirmed. Like, we don't have a funeral scene, so yeah, it was done very cheatily, because it was like, well, we can just undo this if we want to.
Yes, and so they delete, and then so the secret society lady delete the same psychiatrist.
The doctor, yeah.
Yes, she deletes all of it and says we're just going to keep this quiet to the staff. And then she gets at a comic book store for some reason and overhears some nerds talk, like, there's always a secret plan that's never revealed. She rushes back to the hospital and realizes that Mr. Glass, which we see him typing up some code earlier in the film, but he
some really bad code. So Bradley and I are programmers, and did you see it was just all for each loops nested inside of each other with if statements?
Yes.
And then another for each loop. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, it turns out the twist is that he was live streaming the video
to another server, to another site, yeah. And I was trying to read it,
but he wasn't, though. He was sending it as email attachments.
No, what I thought was that he was sending it to
someone
to the site, and then that forwarded on to the girl from Split, Bruce Willis's kid, and Mr. Glass's mom.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess they're characters now.
Yes.
I thought one of them was gonna have superpowers. I thought the girl from Split was gonna have like either luck or like probability shifting, which I've always thought is a cool superpower.
Yes.
Or like
chance of winning $1 million right now.
Or some sort of like persuasion or like psychic ability.
Yeah.
Of like calming someone.
Yes, they're all gonna end up with superpowers.
I mean, probably.
If this does well enough.
Which, I mean, it's made a lot of money
anyway
relative to its budget.
So like the last scene is those three characters at a train station having just a couple hours ago released the footage that Mr. Glass had saved to the public, and then we watch as like the camera pans around all the people watching oh, look at this.
Yeah.
And then it just like zooms out and ends.
Yeah.
And so yes, there's definitely like potential for a setup, but the main three characters could have died, but maybe not. But then also now in this universe, there's going to be like, now that the world knows the secret society can't really operate anymore, so that you can probably get in this universe like grounded-ish superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It, like I said, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just kind of like,
and it's stop and go. Like there's not
stop and go. Yeah.
There's no like real like final like this is the payoff. Because there's a twist happens, but it doesn't really feel like it was earned. It just is like this is what happened.
Yeah. Well, and there's like three not really twists like you said, but like three reveals right in quick succession, right at the end.
What was am I missing? the same train.
James McAvoy's dad.
Yes.
Kevin's dad.
Yes.
The Secret Society, and then what was the other one? There was 3.
Oh yeah, that he sent that the information was actually not destroyed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that his whole thing was a suicide. Glass's plan was a suicide attempt, basically.
Just to have the footage still.
Just to have the footage.
Yes, that's right. So all of those 3 came pretty quickly.
The Glass one I was fine with. I thought that made sense. It wasn't like particularly clever, but it was fine. Like it made sense within the context. M. Night Shyamalan's cameo was really distracting.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Because at least in Unbreakable, he just walks by. Mm-hmm. He's apparently the same character from Unbreakable too, which is, I guess he kind of has to be. Mm-hmm. But that was weird. M. Night, it's very distracting.
It went on for way too long.
Yeah. And he's just awkwardly keeps picking up the security camera and putting it down.
Yeah, it was just
very distracting.
It was just like, that was probably like what felt like, obviously it wasn't, but it felt like the longest scene. It just like drug on, and the conversation just kept going.
Yeah. Which brings me to my other major issue. Well, not major issue. Other issue that I had is the attempts at being relevant in the age of social media were really awkward and ham-fisted. Because there was a couple of references that he made to like Salt Bay. Do you remember Salt Bay? I try to forget. I never knew that's what it was called. But that guy who like does the salt.
Oh, is that what it is?
I didn't find that out until way later that was what the name for the meme was Salt Bay. And then he said it and I was like, So is that kind of stuff and like not understanding how technology works.
Yeah.
or trying to sound hip and relevant.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Otherwise, the dialogue was pretty okay, but that anytime that kind of stuff would show up, it was really awkward and it stuck out like a sore thumb because it's kind of like when adults try to write children characters. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is, and clearly have no idea what they're talking about, and that was kind of pulled me out of the movie a bit.
Yeah. The thing that pulled me out of the movie the most was like we talked about earlier is the code. I just like.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And I was like,
memorize
don't
this.
Show it close up.
I want to read as much of this as I possibly can.
And I did, yeah. That also was very distracting. It was just a bunch of nested.
That wouldn't have been as distracting if it wasn't our career.
Control structures. Yeah. No, I know, but I noticed that stuff now. Yeah. And it should have just been a terminal, and they just typed some gibberish and hit enter and like ran commands.
Yeah.
That would have been way better than like a file that's open and you're writing actual code because it just looked. Or even if it was just from a distance, it should have just been an over-the-shoulder thing.
So you couldn't actually read it. Because if, like, as soon as this comes on DVD, it's going to be someone can pause it and easily read, like, and take a screenshot.
Because it's an extreme close-up. Like, you can very clearly read the words, and it's embarrassing. Yeah. It's like modify values and then a bunch of control structures. It's embarrassing.
Yes. Anyways, I guess as kind of a wrap-up, see it. I guess you should go see it. You don't have to rush out to see it if you've seen the previous 2. If you haven't seen the previous 2, watch them and maybe go see this. Otherwise, you're not going to care about this movie that much. There wasn't anything terribly bad about it, but it was just kind of,
It wasn't really anything to write home about.
Yeah.
As M. Night Shyamalan movies go, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It was like, because usually his movies are very divisive.
Yeah.
They're either good or they're bad. This one was just kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, some stuff happened, but not really.
Yeah, which I think is just mainly because it was trying to, like, wrap up this universe.
Yeah, and I mean, clearly, like, with the $20 million budget, and you have Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy is starting to make a name for himself as well.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I was going to say a lot of the budget probably went to just those 3.
People, yeah.
Especially Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis because they've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So I will cut him some slack because I do think that a really great third act would have been the set piece of the building, the cool skyscraper. That would have been really cool. But again, I'm gonna blame the budget on this one. When you have $20 million and you have 3 relatively big name actors. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
That's probably most of your budget right there. So,
yeah,
it wasn't bad.
It's like because they rented out a fake hospital for
right.
The time of the shooting was what happened. Yeah.
Yep. So I guess for the budget, it's pretty. Most of the CGI wasn't real distracting, or like the de-aging.
How much of it was aging and how
Well, I was
much of
gonna
it was
ask,
previous footage?
Because I was trying to tell.
Yeah.
If it was previous footage or was de-aging. I think most of it was de-aging, wasn't it?
I thought most of it was
Just previous footage from
yeah.
Unbreakable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I haven't seen either recently enough.
I couldn't tell because they. I mean, if it was de-aging, it looked really good.
Yeah.
But most of like the CGI or the effects were fine.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that was real distracting. Yeah. So again, for 20 million, I would say it's pretty good. But it did feel kind of like a fan film or like a really high budget indie movie kind of thing, not like a real blockbuster. Which none of the other movies have really been blockbusters. But I don't know. I kind of felt like as it like the trio conclusion, if you will, it probably could have had a little bit more of a bang than it did.
Yeah, it's true. Which you'd think someone would have backed it unless he just wanted to like make it his thing.
It's hard to say. He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's gonna make a ton of money off it because he. Because he put all the money into it.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
it's a movie.
It's a movie. It's fine. Again,
it's not offensive.
You've seen
but
the
it's just
previous
kinda
ones.
like
Watch that one. You can watch this. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that much. Any final wrap up stuff you want to say?
No, I think that about
it's
does
not
it.
really like we don't have social media to plug.
Yeah, get on that, Bradley.
All
of our fans are waiting. Yeah, no, I think that about does it.
100 Facebook friends.
Yes. Literally dozens.
Literally dozens.
All right, well, thank you for watching our review of Glass. Tune in next time when we do another video in 2 months.
Yes.